How can one become so bounded by choices that somebody else makes? Great question, Adele. It's finally happening. I'm finally going to stand here. Yes, I'm standing and talk to myself and talk to you, hopefully, about one of my favorite songs of this decade. I Drink Wine by none other than Adele. This song was pretty quickly my favorite off her new album. Easy on Me, it's a good song, great song, talked about it. But this one, not a single line is to be left out. Every single line is bars, and I want to talk about it, and I want to talk about what I feel like she is alluding to and how I take it and how you should take it, because you have to let other people decide what art means to you, not yourself, obviously. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go line by line and then see what happens. And I already told you the first one, but we're gonna say it again because you didn't know it was an Adele song. You just thought it was a really good quote. I drink wine. How can one become so bounded by choices that somebody else makes? That's a killer start right off rip, because that applies to literally everything. First of all, didn't choose to be born, didn't choose your parents, didn't choose their genetics, didn't choose where you were born, didn't choose the nationality you were born into, didn't choose the economic class you grew up in, but all of these things determine the scope and possibility and trajectory of your life, of your decisions. All of these things that came together to create you were completely out of your control. You had no say in the matter. But nonetheless, here you are. And here you are bounded by all of these things that happened before you even existed, before you had entered anyone's mind. Their minds were already permeating yours. And I think by starting it with that, it's such a, and she's 30 at the time of the album, I'm guessing, or she just released it when she's 30. But this question being asked at someone at that point in their life is really to me, it just felt so kind of defeated, but on the back end of defeat, coming to terms with the defeat. So how can I be so out of control? Adele, as we know her, is one of the greatest musical people, songwriters, singers, whatever, of all time, human history, recent human history. And yet she still feels this weight of the world that even though she has all this success, even though she has all this fame, she's still, just bouncing around in the river. She's just a little leaf, and the river's just taking her. And that's actually what the music video is. She's literally sitting in a floaty tube going down a river. So I think it's pretty good, pretty spot on. How come we've both become a version of a person we don't even like? Raise your hand if every morning, every single morning, every night, you wake up and go to bed so thrilled to be you. You're just oh, hell yeah, I struck gold. I am gold. And everyone who strikes me gets rich. Do you feel that way? Raise your hand. It's such a weird thing to be a person that you don't like, right? I mean, everyone understands the sentiment, but just the way she frames it in a question. How come? How come? We don't like this version of ourselves, but we are it. We are it. Is it maybe because of the choices that other people make? How are we bounded by that? How are we now a version of that reflection in the mirror that you look at and you just kind of, you're soured by it, discouraged by it even? It's a great question. And I think the answer is different for everyone. We're in love with the world, but the world just wants to bring us down. We're in love with the world, and that by no means is a good thing. I think it's not the same as we're in love with life. It's we're in love with worldly things, with possessions, with ideas, materialism. This is someone speaking from a capitalist society. We're in love with the world. Cars and diamonds and a nice steak, cheese, things, simple pleasures that make zero sense. Why are diamonds so expensive? They serve no purpose but to allow people to put themselves in societal castes without actually having societal castes. It's just money. They're like, yeah, I'm a person that's worth more than you. And it's proven by how shiny I am and how many Balenciagas are on my shirt. And I think it's not a new idea to critique materialism, so I'll stop talking about it. But we're in love with the world, but the world just wants to bring us down. It's all it wants to do. All these things that are given to us, these consumer products, these services, yeah, it's what we want, but do we want to want that? Do we like the people we are wanting those things? Is that want manufactured by people with a lot of technology, a lot of reach, and a very basic understanding of human psychology? Is it possible to, live in a capitalist society with profit without stepping on other people, bringing other people down just for the sake of your own gain, just for the sake of acquiring more things that you supposedly love? She's spitting already. I guess I'll go on. The world just wants to bring us down by putting ideas in our hearts. Nope. By putting ideas in our heads that corrupt our hearts somehow. I feel like our society doesn't view the heart in the way that she's talking about it here, which is as something separate from the brain, as something with its own intention that contradicts brain. And while we know of that conflict within us, each of us experiences it in our own way, we don't operate as if we believe in it. We still retreat to that reasoning and that logicality of, well, it's not my heart, it's just my silly brain not being able to decide whether I should get over this person or whether I should be productive or whether I should blah, 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 or follow my dreams, whatever. These are real conflicts between heart and mind, and whether you believe that each organ is combating or it's a more abstract process, it's up to you. But the corruption of the heart by way of the mind, it implies a healing of the heart by way of the mind, but also it's a two-way street. So healing of the mind or ideas in the mind could also uncorrupt and purify hearts. So it's interesting that she's acknowledging that, this world that has all its own decisions that affect you and bind you and puts ideas in your head. Those ideas can be good or bad. And we have to guard ourselves. This is probably one of my favorite lines, just because mostly nostalgia. When I was a child, every single thing could blow my mind. Soaking it all up for fun, but now I only soak up wine. And that right there, that line is why I love this song so much. And I could talk for an hour about just this part, but I think it's so powerful. And there's a lot a lot of depth and nuance to this line, and I want to share some of it because I think it's so important. So freaking important. When I was a child, every single thing could blow my mind. None of us have a hard time understanding what that means. But what we do have a hard time understanding is that losing that is not something that is just a byproduct of adulthood. Every single thing blowing your mind is not childish ignorance. It's not something to grow out of. It's not an absence of logic, an absence of reasoning. And this is how we treat it, you know? When kids ask their why questions, we get annoyed, we get frustrated. But what are they doing? They are a consciousness that just got injected into a body, and it has no choice but to deal with the things that it has to deal with. So of course that consciousness is gonna be like, what's this, and why does that happen, and what's going on here? And that is the most pure form of curiosity and wonder, and that is what separates the geniuses that are in the history book from the people who aren't. And it's rediscovering that curiosity and that wonder of being a child, because oh my God, it's like impossible not to smile when you are watching a kid like learn something or experience something for the first time. It's so unfiltered. The eyes, like, there's no weight on them. Going back to becoming a version of a person you don't even like, how many times have you looked in your own eyes and you're struck by how burdened they look? Where's the glow? Where's the light? Where's the luster that was so often there in childhood and has probably poked itself out as you grow, but it dwindles. Every single thing could blow my mind. Soaking it all up for fun, now I only soak up wine. I used to do everything for the sake of doing it. I used to play and be silly and be goofy unapologetically, but now those things put me at risk of social isolation or judging or being observed, and nobody wants to be observed. Nobody wants to be caught doing something or expressing something that they feel authentically and are passionate about, right? That would stink. For someone to know your true intentions and for you to be direct and assertive. Have you ever seen, like, so many kids are hella decisive. Like, hey, do you want $500? Nope. Well, why? It's 500. I don't want it. You know, like, they could deny something great or like want something horrible. And if they decide it, they'll just be like set in stone. Like, nope, that's it. Give me that right now. I want it. Or I like it, or I hate it. And they're so like, just boom. That's it. It's done deal. We're so caught up as adults in the options, and everything is limitless. And how do you decide what to do and who to be when you're constantly being shown how all these other people are being and what they're doing? Kids aren't affected by that in the same way. Kids aren't bound by that. Kids aren't corrupted by those ideas. Another interesting thing that this kind of alludes to is childhood amnesia. Why can we not remember the most blissful experiences of childhood? As we get older, it's almost as if the memories that weren't cemented, the memories that weren't either profound or traumatic enough to be cemented in our brains are just, they're not within reach. They're not gone necessarily, but we can't use them to inform our lives. We can't be like, you remember when I was 4 and I just loved that one week where I was just having a great time? We can't remember that. We can only see it reflected in new generations. And imagine if you could recall your childhood in the same way that, you could recall high school or college. Would that make you a different person? Would it remind you of the vibrance that you might have once had? And maybe you've grown out of a shell since childhood. I don't know. I'm generalizing a lot here, so don't kill me. But the general idea that, kids are just not burdened. we love maintaining their innocence. We don't want to see a kid spoiled by the world because we know that that's what the world is going to do. And I think at the end when she says soaking up for fun, but now I only soak up wine, it's like now I only drown out experience because it's too hard, because it's too much of a burden to find the fun. And it's easier to just create the fun with numbness, because those two things are sort of interchangeable. And she's lamenting that. She's saddened by that. She's recognizing, yes, I've grown up. Yes, I've made millions of dollars and my name rings out around the world, but I'm missing something that I was predisposed with just by being a human. What I had as a child is gone now. How do I get it back? That's what I hear her asking. As she's asking about the world and being bounded and being different people, it's like, how do I get that? I feel like the best parts of ourselves come out in our most childish, goofy moments, and that's when you can really see somebody. Now we all just soak up the wine, numb it out. And the last thing I'll say on this line is stemming from my background with Christianity and good old Jesus. And there are a lot of Christians who basically just kind of ignore a lot of the sour parts of the Bible and just focus on Jesus' teachings, which, Jesus was a solid dude. He didn't, as far as we know, he didn't do any bad stuff or anything. Everybody loved him, and he was a good guy, and yeah, I'm going to have to go talk to him. But anyways, Jesus said that he who wishes to enter the kingdom of heaven must first become like a child. And this is why I love this line so much, because, and yes, it's Christianity, but a lot of major religions have this idea of returning to a childlike state in order to unlock fullness. And a lot of analysts of the Bible, if you believe in heaven and hell, great. But a lot of people see those descriptions as sourced from your mindset. So when she talks about bad ideas and corrupt hearts, hell is a place on earth. I should have said the song right there. Ooh, heaven is a place on earth. See, how often is that sentiment echoed throughout pop culture, art, media, religion, literature? Heaven is a place on earth. Heaven is a state of mind, a state of being, accessible to every single person, even more so accessible to children. Because children haven't been bogged down by reality, by the world, by all these things. And basically, you could interpret Jesus' words on telling people how to enter God's kingdom as rediscovering the child in you. And by doing that, when you walk down the street, you're no longer walking by tree number 1, tree number 2, tree number 3, tree number 4. Each one of those things is an entirely novel experience. Each one has the potential to offer you an experience of wonder and, wow, look at that. Look at that caterpillar. Whoa, what's it doing? That kind of thing where it's so stupid and pointless in the best of ways. The best of ways. And in my life, I've tried to intentionally try to channel that as much as I can. And it's really rewarding, because if you're stressed out and you're doing something, maybe you're commuting, whether you're driving or walking, how many things are you passing? When you drive the 20-minute commute from your house or your apartment to your job, you're probably passing other human beings. Maybe you're passing your soulmate. You're passing animals burrowing in the ground. You're passing birds. You're passing wind patterns. You're passing hot and cold air interchanging to create freaking moving wind that can then move some wind chimes, and they make this beautiful sweet sound, and you go, oh, that sounds nice. And it's like, there's so much happening all the time, so much, but our brains aren't capable of handling it all. So what we do is we prioritize and we streamline our focus, And that's really helpful for a lot of things. But what it does suck at doing is allowing us to be enthralled with our experience, enthralled with our life. So how do we stop soaking up wine and start soaking up the sun, baby? Sheryl Crow, whatever her name is. So yeah, this is a good song, by the way. It's a pretty good song. So when I was a child, every single thing could blow my mind, soaking it all up for fun, but now I only soak up wine. They say to play hard, you work hard. Find balance in the sacrifice. And yet, I don't know anybody who's truly satisfied. Like, this first verse, it just floored me. It floored me, continues to floor me. It's so simple. So simple. She has not said a single, triple syllable word here. They say to play hard, you work hard. That's what they say, right? Work hard, play hard if you want to flip it. But where does that actually ring true? The amount of people that work hard just to go to another job and work hard there, and then sacrifice sleep, and then start over the next day, go work hard again, and then again. It's like, when are we playing? When are we going to stop lying to ourselves that this American dream bullshit is a thing that everybody can achieve with good old-fashioned hard work? It's not a thing. It's not a thing. You know how many people out there with the best lives, objectively? They have so much money, eat the nicest food, they love showing everyone. We can all see it, and they make us feel bad about ourselves. Or maybe not feel bad, but, long for what they have. And they hate every day that they wake up into because they can't stand it. Because what are they doing? Eventually, consumption gets old, and you realize you've consumed, but you're not filled. Not even a little bit. Find balance in the sacrifice. What does that mean? What are we sacrificing? Are we sacrificing time? Are we sacrificing ourself? Are we sacrificing other people? How are we supposed to find balance? And yet, I don't know anybody who's truly satisfied. Me neither. Think about the people in your life. Think about yourself. Are you truly satisfied? Is anybody satisfied? Is that even something worth pursuing? Is pure satisfaction, true satisfaction, is that even attainable? I don't know. Do you think that a child who just secured himself an ice cream cone, do you think he's truly satisfied? I would argue yes. I'd argue there's so many moments for a child where nothing else matters. Nothing. They don't have any taxes due, any reports due, any expectations to fill. They're just eating their ice cream. So if we can channel that into our day-to-day life, I think what Adele's telling us is there's a lot to be had. There's a whole another life behind the curtain of the adult world. Because it's within all of us all. We love going online and watching people be silly and goofy, but we're afraid to do it ourselves outside of the privacy of our own home. It's funny. It's funny that you can be goofy to a camera and then share it with millions of people, but it's hard to be goofy in a room of 100 people if you're the center of attention. That's a funny thing. That's not what we're doing here, but it's pretty funny. Pre-chorus, that was verse 1. You better believe I'm trying to keep climbing, but the higher we climb feels like we're both none the wiser. Say it again. The higher we climb feels like we're both none the wiser. So at this point, she says we're both. You can maybe think we're talking about a romantic interest or someone that she loves dearly. Like both of us are doing all these things and, we're doing the most. We're trying to climb up this ladder. We're trying to, linearity, right? Everything's just a constant up and up and up. There's never a downfall, right? And if there is, then you did something wrong, right? The higher we climb, the more time we put in, the more relationships we nurture, the more money we accumulate, the more self-care that we complete, and what's it all for? Where have we gotten now? Okay, great. I got that job that I've always wanted. So everything's good now, right? We're all set. Nope, never is the case. How many times is that the case? I don't know. I don't know every statistic on earth. And neither does anybody else. Neither do you. So why do we still peddle these lies to ourselves that we know what we want? Clearly we don't know what we want. We're just little leaves on the river, just bumping into other things. And then we bump into something. Maybe we travel in tandem with it for a while, and we have a nice chat, and then, whoop, little slipstream knocks them out of our way, and then we say, oh no, they're leaving. But then you realize you got to keep continuing down your path. And then maybe your paths will converge down the river, sorry. And it's so hard to accept that. And I think what a lot of what I got from just this part so far is letting go of the idea of control, accepting that we don't have any, and finding the things that we can control, which is our response to the world. We can't control the world. The world's trying to control us, but what we can do is control our attention and control what we allow ourselves to give up to other people, to things, to corporations, to love, to dreams, whatever it is. We can control our reactions. We can control our attention and our responses and our perspectives. That's all we can control. And even then, it's kind of on the edge. Can we control it? I don't know. Anyways, the song is... Oh my God. The song is 26 minutes long, by the way, so this isn't that different from listening to it. Chorus. So I hope I learn to get over myself. Stop trying to be somebody else so we can love each other for free. Everybody wants something, but you just want me. So I hope I learn to get over myself, right? Get over it. Get over yourself. There's no set you that has been, there's no statue of you anywhere where you look a certain way and you have a certain personality, and that statue will never change. But that's how a lot of people view themselves on a day-to-day. It's how I view myself. I have this image of what Daniel is, who he is, how he acts, what he should look like. And when I stop and think, what was that image constructed by? Was it constructed by me? Was it constructed by my parents? Was it constructed by my friends? Was it constructed by everybody that walks by me on the street? In a lot of ways, yes to everything. Because we have this ego that we uplift and we don't allow ourselves to sway from it. And we get uncomfortable with things that are outside of the confines of what that person is. Who's that person that we don't like looking in the mirror? What do they do? What do they not do? And we got to make sure that we keep those things tucked. Keep them in line. Get over yourself. You're not special. You're unique. But your experience is shared by so many other people. So get over it. And I don't think she's saying it in the way that I kind of said it, with a little like, hey, just get over it. It's not like that. Stop trying to be somebody else. Stop trying to be something that you're not. Stop trying to be the person that other people idealize you as. Stop trying to be the people pleaser. Me self-therapizing right now. So we can love each other for free. What is it? We can love each other for free. So much love is lost now when we factor in all this. There's so many people who want things. Whether it's money, power, influence, whatever. So when we show love, we have this guard up so often because we don't know if that love that we're receiving is genuine, if it's for our sake or if it's to the ends of their own whims or whatever. Love in its purest form is insanely powerful. It's scary, and a lot of people run from it because it's easier to do that. Because when you allow yourself to love, you're allowing yourself to get fury punched in the gut over and over and over and over and over again. Metaphorically, of course. We can love each other for free. So the prerequisite to loving each other for free is getting over yourself and stop trying to be something else. Then we can love each other for free. So if you want free love, No. Genuine love is what I'm getting from this. You got to do some soul searching and stop allowing other people to determine who you are. At the end of the day, everybody wants something. You just want me. And that's pretty nice. Everybody wants to be wanted for who they are, unfiltered. Feels really good to be validated. Everybody knows that. Everybody wants that. That's all we're searching for. You got that new resume. You want validation by getting a job. You got that new dating profile. You want validation by getting a date. I could go on and on, but you get the gist. It's powerful stuff. Here we are through the verse 1, pre-chorus, chorus, and what's she done already? She said, everything is bunk. Let's go back to the drawing board, reassess ourselves, reassess the world, reassess our relationship to that world. And only by doing that difficult, emotional, physical, spiritual, soulful, intellectual work, can we find true, genuine, no strings attached love, both for ourselves, towards ourselves, and for other people, and from other people. And that's some powerful stuff. Because no matter your circumstance, if you have that, you're good. You're set. Verse 2. Why am I obsessing about the things that I can't control? Why am I seeking approval from people I don't even know? Great. We're getting a little bit of restating, reframing. Why am I obsessing about the things that I know that I can't control? Why am I so bound by the choices that somebody else made? And why, even though I know that I'm bound by those choices, why still do I try to take the wheel back? Even though I know Jesus has that on lock. He's not getting rid of it. That's his wheel now. Why am I seeking approval from people I literally don't know? Seriously, why am I doing that? Like, is me doing a podcast seeking approval of my ideas from people I don't know? Does going on the analytics tab and looking at the data and looking at the amount of streams that I get give me validation and make me feel approved? And if it's not as high as last time, do I feel a little knock to the ego? Yes. Why do I do that? Why do you do whatever your equivalent of what I just said is? It's natural, right? We're social, but this question is still necessary. It's why? Why? Logical brain that we love so much and treat as the most important ruler of all time. Why do we do that? Why do we do something so illogical? Oh yeah, because we have a heart. We have a heart that wants to be wanted. And if it's corrupt, it's bunk. I gotta stop saying bunk. I don't know why I'm saying that. I don't even say that regularly. In these crazy times, I hope to find something I can cling on to. Because I need some substance in my life. Dude, like, come on. In these crazy times, yes, we can all agree these times are crazy. Don't need to talk about that. I hope to find something I can cling on to. And I like the word cling because it's almost a little desperate. It's as if you're like either hanging off an edge and you're clinging on, or if you've ever seen Twister, there's that scene where the Twister shows up in its big badassery, and they're in like a basement or something, and there's this deep cement well, and there's a rope, and the tornado's like on them, and they tie themselves to this pole that's dug underground, and they're just like flopping in the wind, but they are like, that is kind of the image I get, like in these crazy times, tornado, something I can cling on to, a pipe that's cemented into the ground, right? Great comparison, because that's what it feels like. It's like we're getting whipped around in the wind. We don't have any which way. We don't know where we're going or where we'll end up. We need something to ground us. And that's definitely one of my issues lately, is like dealing with that. It's just like the grounding aspect. I need some substance in my life. Substance. Throw the word sustenance in there. That could be good too. Nutrients. Fulfillment. Everybody needs that. Everybody needs that. And you can see it in the people that don't. And you can see it in your own eyes when you look in the mirror if you have any substance in there. It's amazing how much the body shows what toils the mind. We need some substance, because if you don't have that, then you get lost in World War III, AI taking over humanity, diseases wiping out the planet, social conflict destroying a government from within. The fact that plastic is literally everywhere in your body, in the Arctic, in the oceans, in all the fishes, and all the birdies. Plastic's everywhere. Oil spills, trains derailing, chemicals spilling into the air. You can't even drink water, breathe air, two of the most basic functions of human. So how do you stay grounded in all that? Substance. That's what Adele's saying. That's what she's saying. I need some substance in my life, something real. And she says something real, which, as we know, real is a relative word. So she follows up, says something that feels true. Something real, something that feels true. And I like the way she says it, because it's like something real. Well, maybe whatever that means, but then something that feels real, it feels true, feels authentic, even if it's not. That's the way I see it, like something that, what does it mean to be true? Who can decide that? All we need is something that feels true enough. Feels true enough to have the effect. Is that not the same thing? Some substance that feels like a real thing. It's not going to get swept out from underneath you. It's not manipulating you. It's not trying to get something from you. Something that feels true. Second pre-chorus. You better believe for you, I've cried. High tides. Because I want you so bad, but you can't fight fire with fire. I've cried high tides. That's some pretty heavy tears right there. High tides? Like she's moving the oceans with her friggin' tears. Because I want you so bad, but you can't fight fire with fire. Honestly, I will say, this one still has not fully, specifically the fire with fire part, I don't like see what she's saying entirely. Like I have a few guesses. Like I want you so bad, but you can't just want something and have someone want you and then it's good. Because as she's alluded to in this whole song, there's so many circumstances that are beyond our control. So wanting someone isn't enough, even if they want you back. And I don't know. I'm still not sure about that one, but it's very powerful and it's very vulnerable. And I think that is her trying to understand this desire for love and this true feeling, while also coping with all the fact that everything feels so fake and inauthentic. So maybe you can't fight inauthenticity within it. Nah, I don't know. We're gonna move on. Chorus again. Never get over myself. Start trying to be someone else. I just want to love you for free. Everybody wants something. You just want me. Everybody, yeah, good. The bridge. The final words that she leaves us with on this wonderful kick-ass song. Listen, I know how low I can go. I give as good as I get. You get the brunt of it all, 'cause you're all I got left. She's recognizing her own pits, her own rock bottoms, and saying, I can only give as much as my circumstances allow. There's only so much of me at any given time, and it's constantly changing, and I can identify those pits, but I can't, by identifying that, ignore it. I can only give what I have. I can only give what I get. But you get the brunt of everything, because there's nothing else. It sounds like this person is the only true feeling thing that she has left. So that true feeling thing, you throw all of yourself at it, because life's too short not to. There's too much uncertainty. There's too much inauthenticity. to feel something real and true and not just friggin' swing your stuff around at it, right? It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's hard to get there. And you can feel, as she's singing, you can feel the kind of the turmoil just in the voice throughout the song. Like the pain behind it, but the like I said, kind of like coming out of that, coming out of defeat and realizing something. We both will find peace of mind. This whole thing has been a lead up to that. Peace of mind? Are you kidding me? What are you listening to right now, by the way? Let me know. I didn't decide the name of this podcast based off this song. She copied me. We both will find peace of mind. And I think that's lovely. I'm going to continue. We both will find peace of mind. Sometimes the road less traveled is a road best left behind. And that's the song. And then there's like a boring talking part at the end. But finding peace of mind, it's such a... I hear it all the time now. Just, it's like when you have a car and you see that car everywhere. But what else could be the goal of your day-to-day? I mean, everyone has different life goals, but like everyone wants to have their mind at ease day to day, right? You show me someone who's like, no, I kind of like chronic stress and anxiety and being anxious about every social interaction and like not being able to get out of bed in the morning. So peace of mind, right? That's what we want. And she hopes that in time, her and the person that she's longing for will find that. So it's coming to terms with, despite all this river and everything being out of your control, you still have these feelings, and despite those feelings, everything's still out of your control. So it's like she's coming to terms with you can't force it. You can't force it. And sometimes the road less traveled is a road best left behind. So maybe the fact that the river hasn't taken you that way means that's not the way to go, and you got to stop trying to paddle over there. Because it's fruitless at the end of the day, and that's going to create that stress and destroy that peace of mind. But yeah, this song, it's been 42 minutes. Time is not real. I think this has been one of my most listened to songs because I think just in this day and age, it's so refreshing to hear a voice like hers and just someone with position such as hers go through these things that I have felt so much lately in my life. It's nice that there's a lot of stuff that I'm reading and just kind of reanalyzing, and it can feel isolating. It can feel isolating to be like going through the motions of coping with the world that we're growing up in, and hearing somebody talk so simply but directly at the problem is just really refreshing. And I think that this sentiment is popping up in music a lot more, at least in the music I consume, and it's really, really motivating and comforting. And I think there's so much depth to this song in it's presented in such a digestible way. And I just spoke the whole thing. It's actually got musical quality too. Like, it's Adele. I mean, she sounds great. But just reading it, I mean, it's good stuff. I just really wanted to talk about it. And maybe you have a new song interest. Maybe you've heard the song before and you've got all this and you're like, okay, great. Yeah, it's super self-explanatory. Or you didn't and you learned something. Either way, awesome. Get over yourself. Like, geez. So yeah, I'll call it there. It's a good 45-minute first ever song analysis. So thanks for listening. And this is honestly just reading this song and talking about it for this long. It's like, honestly, I made a joke earlier about self-therapizing, but it really is. It's cool to like speak this stuff out loud and kind of reaffirm it and validate it. Like, I'm currently feeling some types of ways, and It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat that music can do that, and I didn't even listen to the music. So, yeah, some thoughts, some pieces of mind for your peace of mind. Thank you. See you later.